Dude, with these cauliflower ears, it's going to stick out. It's one side.
You good, Steve?
All right, how am I facing you? Am I facing the camera?
We're not that professional.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to know.
It's more just chill. We're just going to talk.
Okay.
Talk about you, talk about the event. You ready, Steve? Yep. All right, we are back hanging out here at the Apex with Ode Osbourne, who's been on before. Welcome back. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good, man. Thank you so much for having me.
You made a comment as we were getting ready to start that this is a rocket ship, that the UFC is on a rocket ship. I was there, and I tell this story, and he rolls his eyes. I was at UFC 11.
Yeah.
The after party at UFC 11 was 6 fans, 1 fighter, and a cheese tray.
What?
And look what it is today. Look what this sport has become.
What year was that, if you don't mind me asking?
Let's see, my son's 37. I took him. I was the worst father in America. He was around 11, so 25, 26, 27 years
Oh,
ago.
wow. That's insane. Yeah, I started watching UFC in 2010.
I've been covering it longer than you've been alive.
Yeah.
I was on the front page of a newspaper, worst father in America, because I had my 11-year-old son cage side at the event.
You could be my dad.
It was... Took my daughter. I'll tell you this. I took my daughter. She couldn't get a date in college.
Oh, man. Hey, like
I said, the best thing ever.
Looks like I'm taking notes from you.
Do a little training, and the guys will stay away. Let's talk about this week. I mean, it's a big event, and I know a fight is a fight is a fight, but does it add anything? What is about to happen on Saturday?
I've talked about this before, right? This will be my 10th fight in the UFC Octagon, and my very first fight, I don't think I was ready for the hype of everything. I fought on a McGregor Cowboy Cerrone card, and the fight day, I got bumped up to the main card on a pay-per-view show, and it just took me by surprise. And I think the awe of it, you know what I mean? Getting your makeup done, showing up in a limo, getting your meals prepped out for you, all that stuff was just so much. And I was just like, oh man, this is amazing. Kind of lost my focus, and I wasn't tuned in. And I lost my first fight in the UFC on that card. And I thought to myself, I was like, man, I'll probably never get another opportunity to fight on a big pay-per-view card on the main card for UFC. And here we are again, 10 fights later. And I have a saying: the last time I had a seat at the table, and I fumbled. This time I have a seat at the table, and I'm going to make sure I eat.
So this is just another fight. So we're not worried about. You're not thinking about the magnitude of the things they're talking about.
No, that's what my opponent's doing. Right. That's his job. He's supposed to do that. You know what I mean? I'm. This is my house. I'm the veteran. So after 7 fights, you kind of get used to everything. You know what's to come. You know the routine. It becomes more familiar.
So what do you know about your opponent on Saturday? And I always ask the athletes, does it even matter? Because he has to worry about you, not you worry about him.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter per se. He knows a little bit about me too. We sparred at Extreme probably a month or 3 weeks before the fight got booked. We sparred at Extreme, and I messaged him and I said, hey, I just got reached out to, and I'm sure you also got reached out to fight each other. What do you want to do it? Only because we sparred. And so anytime you spar someone, it's like gym etiquette. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want to go fight the person you just sparred. So I reached out to him because I was, the professional thing to do, I felt. And he was like, yeah, man, I think it would be a great opportunity for the both of us. Let's do it. And I was like, okay, well, that's what I wanted to hear anyways. But I would have been cool if he had said no. I would have been like, okay, I respect that. But, man, come Saturday, sparring is one thing. Come Saturday, I'm definitely looking to make it known who Ode Osbourne is. And if you've ever seen a Jamaican sensation fight, I'm an exciting fighter. I always come up to show out.
You mentioned the word professional, and you're finding out here that we're semi-professional.
Nah, you guys are good.
So something happened last night. You're the first fighter to come in today, and I want to ask you about it. First of all, I hate unwritten rules. It's either a rule or it's not. Okay, but the touching of the gloves before a fight. Okay, I'm okay if you do it. I'm okay if you don't do it. A fighter last night did something that bothered me. I'm not a fighter, but I'm curious your opinion. So they looked at each other to touch gloves. They shook. They went to touch gloves, and as he was touching gloves, he threw a kick.
Oh yeah, no, you know what's interesting? The referee in the locker room tells you not to do that. He tells you not to do that. He said, don't fake touch gloves and then throw a punch. That's kind of, it's bad sportsmanship.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I said, it's etiquette. The sport, it's called MMA. I know we're fighters and we go out there and we beat the crap out of each other, but we are martial artists at the end of the day as well. As most people don't like to think of themselves as martial artists, and that's where they drop the ball. You know what I'm saying? You're not only a martial artist in the octagon, but you have to be a martial artist outside the octagon, meaning you have to represent yourself and the UFC in a certain manner when you're not fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. No, absolutely.
And if you're not a martial artist outside the octagon, it's going to show. You know what I'm saying? You see people getting in trouble and things like that. It shows.
It's also the word that you used before, professional.
Yes.
Professionalism.
Exactly.
You know, so it kind of adds that. So how will you get through the next couple of days? I mean, do you just lay in bed? It kills me that you fighters watch the Food Channel the week of fights. Are you one of those guys?
You know what? I don't know about the Food Channel because that's like,
to me, that's torture.
Yeah, but I'll watch stuff on Instagram, because I love to cook, right? So I watch things getting that one dude that makes food outside on a stone with a fire that he made outside. Something about that, fighting or not, I watch those videos because I love just the caveman way of cooking, just outside on a rock. Then he takes that rock and put it on a fire. Then he fishes for a salmon and he cuts it up and makes his own creation from that.
And he uses the rock as the salt.
Exactly. Right. I love that stuff, man. Like I said, because I grew up cooking. I'm Jamaican. We're big. We're a big island of dishes and spice. We're all about our spices. So I love things like that. But preparing for a fight, the next few days, I'm mainly going to be focusing on getting my weight down. Things like water loading. So today I'm about to push probably 2 gallons. And yeah, so I'll be peeing every 30 minutes. I made sure not to start my water loading before I did this. Otherwise, I would have had to got up just now.
Well, it's like having a colonoscopy.
Yeah. Not as severe, though. Not as severe. I'm not ready for that yet.
Well, we'll talk about that stuff off the
Yeah.
You're never too young to have a colonoscopy.
I'm going to hold off on that until I'm like 60, until I'm about to be like...
Trust me, don't.
If I know the day I'm going to die, I want to do my colonoscopy the day before.
We'll do the medical stuff off the air. We'll talk about it on. Are you a fan of other sports? What other sports? What other athlete?
I used to be a huge fan of football. I have a lot of friends that play football. I have a lot of friends that have played in the NFL. I still have a friend, Jacoby Brissett. I think he plays with the Patriots now. He's a quarterback. Mm-hmm. I came from a really, really big football high school in Florida, Palm Beach Gardens.
Sure. We're based in Florida as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you know William T. Dwyer?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I came out of Dwyer, so you already know coming out of Florida, I had tons of friends.
South Florida.
Exactly.
Right.
Tons of friends that play football. But as for right now, I stopped watching sports because, so hear me out, right? I know you're going to give me that little, you don't watch sports?
No, go ahead.
Hear me out, right? I used to idolize the players so much and wanted to be them. Same with fighting. I used to want to be them. I wanted to be like them. I wanted to do what they're doing. And then, I started getting more spiritual with God and understanding the only person I want to be like is Jesus. And in order to be the people that I idolized, I have to become them. In order to become them, you can't really watch your idol and wanting to become, you know what I'm saying? Right. You kind of have to get to a certain level mentally to where you tell yourself that, like, you are them. Why are you watching them? You know what I mean? Like, you're there. You are him. You are fighting at the one of the largest organizations in the world, regardless of how your performances go in the octagon. In order to get here, it's a crazy roller coaster just to be able to fight for the UFC.
And not necessarily the largest MMA or largest fighting, the largest sports organization in the world.
For sure, because what other sports performs in front of, I don't know, multiple countries. You know what I mean? Basketball, I guess, will go overseas for the Olympics and stuff like that. But that's like once a year they go overseas. But we're constantly traveling to different countries. We're more popular than any sport in the U.S. Any sport.
Well, my co-host, I say co-co,
Yeah.
you know, he always argues NBA, NFL, when they say the word world champion.
No,
they're
man.
really not.
No, they're
they
really
only play
not.
Here.
Yeah.
Something like this where you are fighting, you know, athletes from all over the world does make you a world champion.
Of course. If you can go to the UK right now and talk about Aaron Rodgers, and they'll be like, who?
Right.
But if you go to the UK and you mention John Jones, they'll be like, yeah, we love John Jones. You can go to Africa and mention John Jones, and they'll be like, yeah, we love John Jones. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it speaks for itself. The UFC is like a rocket ship just taking off. And I'm trying to hold on to the back of that thing while, you know.
So am I. That's why I didn't want you to trip when you walked in. For that reason.
It would have made it for a great story, though, if I did trip.
Yeah, and then we'd have to talk by Instagram or something because we may not be talking like this. Do you collect any items, not just your items, other fighters' items, or just other things?
You know, I like collecting random stuff. So I'm one of those mementos kind of a person, right? Everything I wear, like I'm a big rings person. I wear a lot of rings, but mainly rings that people have given me. One of my coworkers, as you know, I was a teacher for 6 years. I was an assistant teacher, and my lead teacher gave me this once. And, you know, I wear it all the time because I love wearing things. I'm very, I'm going to say emotional, but not like a crying emotional. I'm just in tune, you know what I'm saying? Like I love gratitude. And so if someone takes the time to give me something, I'm going to show my appreciation. You know, that means they took the time to think of me, you know, so that's amazing to me.
I didn't mean for this to happen. I didn't mean for this to happen.
Sorry.
I was going to do this, you know, at the end, but I decided after a long time that I'm going to start making our own challenge coin.
Oh,
and you are the first athlete that is going to receive the Knockout Radio Challenge coin.
Oh,
so
man.
I was going to do it later off the air, but I don't want you to get emotional.
Oh,
either,
man. So. Thank you, love.
See, I always make fun of other veterans. Because that's what we do.
I'm taking this out because I want to see it. Ooh, look at that. Yes, it's got the fist on one side and then the eagle. Hey, shout out. Speaking of the Navy, I'm going to speak this into existence. I'm going to TKO or submit Ronaldo Rodriguez, and then I'm going to shout out my brother who is in the Air Force.
So really not military. That's a joke.
Oh my God!
See, inside, and I know we got to move on. See, in the military, we rip each other.
I know,
you know, all the time. And I've had people go, "Really, you talk that way?"
Yeah, it's true.
Air Force.
It's true. It's Air Force and Coast Guard. The two.
Did you know that they passed a new law in Congress that to be in the Coast Guard, you have to be 6 feet or taller?
Really?
True story. Live.
Nah, for real?
That way, if the ship sinks, they can walk back to shore.
Hey, where'd y'all get this guy from, man?
Yeah, right, for sure. All right, I know we're out of time. What can the fans expect to see when Ode gets back in the octagon on Saturday?
Well, I think the fans already know what they're looking for, because anyone who's seen an Ode Osbourne fight, they know it's always exciting. I always come out and leave it all in the octagon, no matter what. So nothing's gonna be different. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the same thing. I'm gonna go out there and leave it all in the octagon. So only thing I gotta say is don't blink. And, you know, shout out to all my people in Jamaica, Kingston. You done know, respect and big up yourself. Yeah.
Watch this. It's going to be good on Saturday. All right. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you.